Couch. I'm your host, Coach Dee Woolridge, and I'm so excited to be here today, a day after Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there and anybody who stepped into the role, whether you're an aunt or a big sister or a dad. Anybody who stepped into that role, because that role is a hard role, isn't it, Stephanie?
It takes a village, yes.
So I'm so excited today because today our show is about personal empowerment. This whole entire show is about personal empowerment. Time on the Couch is how I help my clients. This is a throwback to the days when I was going through school, learning to be a counselor, learning to be a hypnotherapist. And when I was working with my colleagues, we would say, sounds like you need some time on the couch or some time in the chair. So everybody does. And personal empowerment is one of the things you get from the time that you put into yourself. Help your self-development, your personal development, and personal power is one of the things that you get. One of my special guests during this series is my very personal friend, and she's just an amazing person. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her, and then I'm going to let her tell you the rest. I don't want to steal the thunder, but she's so amazing. I just want to tell you that. Her name is Stephanie Skyy, and she's an executive at one of the big companies here, and they have to pay us to do a shout out for them, but she's an executive at one of the big companies here in San Antonio. And what she does for working out is one of the unusual things, but it's beauty in motion. And she's a pole instructor. Is that the right name for
Yes.
it? A pole instructor.
Pole fitness instructor.
A pole fitness instructor. And I've seen how strong, how graceful, how beautiful Stephanie is when she's up there doing her thing, and watching her on Facebook when she does the live and showing how she masters these certain skills. And it takes power to do that, not just physical power, but the power to love your body, the power to honor yourself, the power to just step out in all of your glory in your little boy shorts and sports bra that they're wearing. I was like, look at Stephanie, look at her do that thing. So I want to talk to you, Stephanie, today about personal empowerment. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here today. This is awesome.
And why don't you tell them more about you and who you are and what you do in life? Just tell the audience more about, what do you want them to know about you?
Absolutely. My name is Stephanie Skyy. I have been a pole fitness instructor since 2006, so we're going on 13 years now. I moved to Texas to pole fitness. It is the best place to be. I got into it because I was an aerobics instructor and wanted something different and fun, and it has just been such a huge part of my life and has really helped launch me emotionally and just in my career, just all around, just feeling better about myself and walking a little bit taller. Dee will even tell you I come strutting in sometimes. Yeah. And I think that has a lot to do with the workouts that I do. I also take aerial classes. I've crossed over from pole into aerial as well at Aerial Horizons, and I, trying different apparatuses because I feel confident enough that I can do that. I met the love of my life when I moved to Texas, and he has two amazing children, which are now my stepkids, but really I'm helping raise them as well. They are my kids as far as I'm concerned. My daughter is 21. She is married. Her husband is in Kuwait, and he's getting ready to come home. He's in the Army. And my son is 14, and everything about 14-year-old boys is true, but I love him so much. He knew I was having a bad night last night, and he gave me a huge hug and told me he loved me, and it was the sweetest, most amazing thing. So just when they act like 14-year-old boys and then their hearts come into adults, it's just amazing. And like Dee said, I don't know if I call myself an executive, but I am in a management type role at a very large company. I work full time, and I have a little side hustle where I try to teach women about not even women, but any woman identifier in how to dress for you and to be saucy for you, but still in a corporate environment. It's still, you can be you in non-traditional or in traditional places and be non-traditional.
It's like professional edge.
Yes, I like that. Or a polished edge.
Polished edge.
Poledgy.
Yeah. Poledgy. I like it. And tell people how we met, Stephanie.
So I have ulcerative colitis, which is ulcers of my large intestines. And every once in a while I start having a flare. And I really wanted to get to a deeper root of the problem and not just try to solve it with medicine. And I looked into hypnotherapy, and I literally did a Google search, and Dee came up. And when I talked to her, she's like, oh, I'm traveling, I'm doing this, I'm doing all these speaking engagements. And then I talked to another client. They're like, you're so lucky to have found her. I'm like, I know. But she was able to fit me in. We chatted. We had some really good hypnotherapy sessions, which turned into regular therapy sessions, which then turned into life coaching sessions for my business. And then since I've been going through all of that, and I guess we can probably talk about this in a little bit, I've started going through a spiritual awakening, getting into much more of the higher powers out there in the universe and the energy. She's been able to help me, guide me through all of that as well. So I've almost hit a gambit of all your services.
Yeah. And as a result of working with me, my clients are hitting their goals in a fraction of the time than they would on their own.
Oh, absolutely. I could not have done half of this on my own. I would have fallen apart and given up probably.
And they're just like you, they're happier, more self-assured, more confidence, because you came walking in one day, I go, Stephanie, you have a swagger about you. And you said someone had said that to you before. You go, really? I go, yeah, you're taller now than I remember.
I did grow an inch. I'm not even kidding. I equated it to my working out, and working on like some of my back and my strength. But
because you do a lot of inversion.
Yes, but I did grow an inch in my 40s. Believe it or not, it can happen.
That's amazing. So right,
and I think there is a lot of truth to what you just said about that confidence and.
And you know what? If you're feeling better about yourself, you're walking taller, your posture changes.
True.
Because you're not hiding from the world anymore. And that showed, Stephanie got right up and she was like, I was like, hello, Stephanie. And, you slim down, your body is just banging.
Thank you.
And the inside matches. So that's one of the things that I know that you, just like some of my other clients, are able to, when they reach out, when you're able to reach out for professional help. Friends and family are good, right? Friends and family, but they may not know how to help you.
True. And there's also an element of having a third party that really doesn't have an opinion either way which way you go. A family member might have an invested opinion.
That's right.
So subconsciously they might be trying to sway you one way or another. I know my partner is tries to be extremely cautious, especially with me and his kids, in not driving us one way or another. But at the end of the day, they'll still say, Dad, you're making us do this.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I want you to go out and do what you want to do. But there's still that perception because he might be subconsciously. So having somebody like Dee in your life to...
Who says...
Be that third party.
Now tell me why you're doing that again.
I want to answer that question, Dee.
Or you're skirt over something. I go, hey, let's go back to this.
I have to tell you a 2-hour story to tell you why I did that.
But then when you get back to that, you find out what your motivation is or your fears.
Right.
And then we overcome those. So why don't you tell people what you believe personal empowerment means to you? What does that mean?
Oh, that is a great question. To me, it is doing what you want when you want. And I say that not in a selfish way, not in a, I'm not going to work today, I'm going to happy hour, which I would love to do, by the way. But more in a, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it, within the realm of the responsibilities that you need to have within your life and part of being a functioning member of society. And really making no apologies for it. One thing I'm really working on with Dee that I struggle with is finding my voice. I know I'm talking a lot, so it seems like I have a really good voice, but there's a lot of things I don't speak up about. I kind of sit back and get quiet, and or I'm afraid to really speak my truth, and I might not know what that is. So being able to figure that out, know what that is, and be able to speak that in an intelligent way, not that you're attacking somebody, it's just in a productive way, I should say. So to me, that is what it means to be personally empowered.
Yeah, to actually stand in your truth, whatever that is, and be okay with the outcome.
Right.
Because we all get to do that. And one of the things I believe that people are afraid of when it comes to personal power is losing the love of someone, hurting them, not saying who you really are or doing the things you want to do because you're concerned about the feelings of other people, the people pleasers.
Right. I'm one of those too.
Used to be one of those.
I used to be one of those.
Yeah. And I think what you've been developing into, Stephanie, is, and you can say yes or no, but this is what I've seen. I've seen the transformation of you not wanting to hurt other people's feelings, and I'm not an advocate of that at all. It is standing up for yourself and let them own their feelings, and you not be responsible for their other people's feelings.
Right, because I would take it in personally. If I felt that I said, sorry, I can't go out with you today, friend, and I worried that I hurt their feelings, I would let it eat me up inside, which would cause a lot of anxiety and a lot of my ulcerative colitis issues.
Yes.
And now I don't fear that anymore.
Yeah. You just say, you've been able to say, like other people do. This is what I want to point out. Other people do it all the time. People say no and don't think anything of it. You just go, oh, they said no. And what people pleasers will do, they will feel resentful because they're always giving. They're always giving of their power. No one's taking their power, they're giving it away. And then when other people say no to them, they start going, they said no. I'm always doing stuff for them, and then they'll get sad or they'll get angry, and there's some resentment that can turn into symptoms like colitis. It's hard to digest that.
Right, literally and figuratively.
Yes.
Pun intended.
Yeah. So just know that if there's anything that's going on with your body, think about what's going on in your life, in your mental, emotional state, and spiritual state, right?
Absolutely.
And I think you've grown to that spiritual part of you too. You said,
yes.
So you've and one of the things a couple of things that we've done is, with hypnosis is the really intense work. And then we do the coaching work. That's, planning for the future. And then there's the spiritual part is at a higher level of, being in tune with what your soul wants. And you're in that part now because you just became a Reiki practitioner.
Yes, I have.
So,
and guess who made that happen?
So tell us about your journey, if you can give a few minutes, a quick.
Yes. Same thing happened. I was starting to go down a spiral with my colitis, and I said, something needs to change. This is really frustrating. I was laying in bed. I got on a YouTube spiral and found a YouTuber that I started following about spiritual journeys. Immediately, I thought of Dee. I called her and said, hey, I want to talk to you about some of these things these services that you offer, because immediately I thought, oh, well, I have a person here that can help me. And I still watch YouTube videos all day long. I do a lot of meditation through that. Dee's given me some meditations as well, and they've all helped me, I guess, get to the next level. And even when I'm having just a bad day, or just I need to calm down, or if I'm spiraling or just need some me time, all those meditations have helped, and have helped me just be a little more self-aware of my emotions and everything else that's going on in my life, and just things that are going on in other people's lives that kind of touch mine. And I guess going through all this, did you want to talk about the Reiki?
Well, Reiki is, for the people who don't know what Reiki is a form of energy healing. So Reiki means universal life force energy, and a Reiki master can attune other people. It doesn't matter what size, what age, what nationality, it doesn't matter, can attune anyone.
Or religion. It's a non-religion
It's a non-religion based energy practice, and you can attune someone to it. And Stephanie, along with a couple of other ladies who wanted this experience, were attuned to Reiki too. So Reiki 1 is all about self-healing. It's all about being able to heal the self, because remember, you can't give what you don't have.
Right.
All the time. So that's part of the personal empowerment, is being able to give what it's all about healing thyself first before you can give to anyone.
So in non-therapist terms, Reiki, I guess how I would explain it is there's inner energy within our bodies, and we just can kind of heal ourselves with that, and that's what Dee has helped give me the skills to do. And yeah, the animals enjoy it too.
The animals love it. So we're going to move to another segment of the show, and this is the question and answer show. So there is one question here that I want to answer, and you can help answer this too. Because,
sure. Where did these questions come from?
So these are people that either clients or people on my social media.
Oh,
because I
awesome.
just put things out there and say, on my show we're going to be talking about personal empowerment. What do you want to hear?
Cool.
Okay.
This is the best part then.
Here's a question. It came from Anonymous. I know who you are, but Anonymous, I'm afraid to change. I'm afraid to change because what will my family and friends think?
That's a really good question. I was married for 14 years, and I think I was kind of in that boat in a way, that I was afraid it would end things, and in a way it did. And it doesn't necessarily mean that something that dramatic will happen in your life, but things that don't serve you anymore fall away, and things that do come into play. I've even noticed that, with some smaller personal relationships, or even some of my workouts have changed because they just don't serve me anymore. It's like, this isn't, I used to be a weightlifter, and I loved it for a long time, and then I hated it one day, and I realized that it wasn't serving me, and I needed to move into something else. And I think the scariest thing for people is to be afraid of losing those that are closest to them. But I think in the long run, if you're bettering yourself, they're going to be on board. And if they really are the people that are there for you and in your life, they're there. They love you.
And adding to that, Stephanie, personal empowerment is not about other people. That's why it's called personal empowerment.
See, that's why she's a therapist.
It is. And you know what? Sometimes you will lose the family and friends, and they may not come with you, but that's called growth. You're going to have to step outside of that comfort zone. And there's a really good book, and it's an old book. It's over 20 years old. Who Moved My Cheese?
Oh, I love that book.
Don't you love that book?
Oh, we read it for work when I was first starting out. I think I was like 22 in the corporate world, and our boss recommended we read it.
It's a good book. It's about
great
change,
book.
isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And remember,
adapting to it. Sorry, I got very excited.
No, this is good. This is exciting. So anybody just going, you can get it at Half Price Books, or wherever you get the book from, but get it on Amazon or something like that. But it's a book about change, and there's two mice and two small human people. Somebody moved the cheese that they used to go running to every morning and feast upon, and one morning it was gone. The mice went on to find more cheese because they didn't want to give all of this analytical thought to who moved it. And then him and Haw stayed there trying to analyze it and say, I want it back. I want my cheese back. And then one of the little guys said, I'm out of here, basically. And he left Haw there, or him, or whoever that was. He left the person there. And that's what you do when you get into your personal power. You have to move outside of that space that used to work for you. And something about it is going to change. It's going to get old. You may not have a taste for it anymore, like weightlifting. You said just one day you didn't want to do it anymore. So what do? Do you stay there with the people who are going to hold you back, if they're family or friends? It doesn't matter. You are on this journey. as a soul for you. And in order for you to complete the things that you need to in this lifetime, you got to keep moving. And that is the personal empowerment. You got to keep moving. So if your family and your friends, you can never be a prophet in your own city anyways. So they're not always going to support you in everything you do. They may love you, but they may not support you in everything you do. Don't let that stop you from living your dream.
I know this is going to sound a little odd. I mentioned my boyfriend. He is the most supportive person in the world, and he is almost like, go, do, are you happy? Awesome. I've never been encountered with such an amazing soul that is so wonderful in that respect. And going through this journey, this personal journey that I've gone through, I even had a moment with him last night. I told him, I said, I feel so alone sometimes. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's hugging me going, no, don't feel alone. Like, we're here. I'm like, no, the family's here. And I have so much love. And I talked to my mom yesterday, and there's so much love with my parents. So I don't feel alone as a human. I feel alone on the journey sometimes. Like, it's scary because even though I have this great support system, there's still a lot of things I got to do by myself. And that gets scary. Usually I feel great about it, and I am super empowered. And then other times there are like,
Yeah. But Stephanie, everyone feels that way.
Oh, I know.
I used to feel like I always needed a partner to do things with. I was always looking for that, hey, who's my running buddy? Who's going to run with me? I need somebody to run with. And we all feel that way. Because sometimes when we're stepping outside of our comfort zone, when we're moving to something, we have to do it alone because it is a personal journey. It is a journey of one person at a time. Now, we have this soul group that comes along and can support us from the perimeter, but it's the soul that actually, see, this is the spiritual counseling part. We're really getting deeper here. But it's you, basically, that has to grow. And so you will feel like you may not have what it takes. You may not feel like you may not be good enough. You may feel like you're alone, but you're not. You're always supported and guided by the universe. And there's another book called The Alchemist. Have you read that one yet?
I have not.
Okay, The Alchemist is a great book. It's an amazing book, and there's a line in there, and I'm paraphrasing. It says, when you decide what you want to do, the universe will conspire to help you do it. That means that you're never alone, and you're on this journey alone. So we feel it. So I felt it. We all have felt this. But you can do it. You keep moving.
Yeah.
You keep moving. Because the universe will conspire to help you reach that goal.
It's true.
And that's what I talk about all the time. So let's do one more question. This question comes from Sylvia. And she says, personal empowerment. How do I know if I'm empowered if I keep failing?
If you're trying, you're empowered. That's the way I feel. Good for you, Sylvia.
Yeah, I have to do a high five on that one.
Because how is she going to know if it's the right fit until you fail? Although I'm sure, not knowing what Sylvia is going through, I'm sure there is definitely this, I keep trying and I keep failing. I felt those feelings personally before, so I get that. It can start to drag you down. But maybe it's part of that, what we just kind of talked about before, that personal growth. Maybe you're in this box where you're staying in this comfort zone that it doesn't serve you anymore, which is probably why you're failing.
Stephanie, you have it. You have it. That's it. Because that's what I was going to piggyback on it. You try it and you try it and you try it. And if you hit a wall, it may be time to move on to something else. However, if you're being led back to that, you'll know. That's where the spiritual component comes in. You know, your intuition that says, I know I'm called to do this. I know I'm called to do this. Let the universe lead you. And sometimes you have to surrender to
That's the hardest part, and yes, you do.
Sometimes you got to go, okay, God, where do you want me? What am I supposed to do? Where are you leading me? And if you're failing, it could be because you're trying to do it your way when the universe or God is leading you in another way. So, and you have to be more intuitive with your with your wants, needs, and desire, and also what you're being called to do. And if you keep hitting the wall with something that you want to do, if you are surrendered and you're still, and it still doesn't work out, then it may be time, like just what Stephanie said, maybe it's not your thing. Maybe you're being called somewhere else. And I think if you listen, you'll be able to hear. And
it's very easy to say, no, I'm not listening, because I do that a lot, and I'm starting to learn the signs and the universe's little nudges one way or another. And I'm like, why am I having such a bad day? Why is every time I try to do this, it doesn't work? Oh, let's not go this way anymore. Let's go over here.
Because they're going, nudge, nudge, nope. Just right there. You're just off just a little bit. Okay, now look right there. There you go. Keep going. That's it, Stephanie, like that. So I believe that we have guides and our angels, and we have this group that's keeping us on the path, that's letting us stray and go over here and do these things so we can learn and grow, because that helps us really stand in the power when we get there. Because we say, I've done that before, don't have to do it again, right? And then we can stand in the power. So Stephanie, what do you have going on? How do people get in touch with you?
Great question. You can follow me on Facebook or Instagram. I am on the Rebel Red Experience. Rebel Red, get it? And I do a lot of free content. And I have a website coming soon, and there'll be information on my Facebook and my Instagram about that once it's finalized. And on there will be some free content about how to dress, like I said in the beginning, a little edgier, a little keeping that that saucy, amazing you out at the club having a good old time, but still in a corporate environment or still in an appropriate in a library or something. So I do a lot of free content in that respect. I make my own some upcycled clothing. This is one of my jackets, so it's the same kind of thing where I take something simple and kind of give it my flair. This was I made for myself, so it's a little more in your face.
And her jackets are amazing, and you can find them on her website. And I know that you have an Etsy site. She's about to open up some.
Yes, on my website will be a shopping site as well, and it will probably be the Rebel Red Experience. But check it out on Instagram and Facebook, and I will have the final information for you.
Below this, if you're watching on YouTube, below in the comments, we'll have a link to Stephanie's social media as well as the playback on Facebook. We'll have links on all of this. So and I think she said, didn't you say that you were going to have some kind of offer coming? Just stay tuned to the comments and share this with your friends. So make sure you share this on your social media. If anybody you know wants someone who can help them with personal empowerment, someone who may be feeling like they can't do it or they just need some help, have them call for a free consultation. They can contact me at dwoolridge.com or 210-504-5992, or just leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. And if you want to do the Rebel Red, the polished edge with Stephanie, and she's gonna look at some of her amazing photos on how to put these things together.
And I do personal designing too, so you can contact me directly.
Oh, and don't forget about that. Tell everybody about this.
You can also follow me on Stephanie Skyy polls. I have my poll stuff from Soft Sensuous Moves, and then I am in a show at Aerial Horizons called Paper Dolls. This is all about women empowering. The first act has Aerial Kids and about the journey through being a kid and not being allowed to be you, and then the adults coming in and being a little more in your face about society, and it's fun. It's actually a really light show, and that would be May 25th and 26th. Tickets are $10, Aerial Horizons.
Don't want to miss that. And another thing you don't want to miss is from sponsors, Relief CBD oil. So this is to help you stay healthy inside, to make sure that your empowerment is coming through at all time. We have the 1500 milligram and the 750 milligram Relief CBD oil. It's one of the best on the market. It's pure, it's clean, only 3 ingredients. And if you want more information on how to get that, I got you. just look in the comments below and I'll have a link for Relief CBD oil. So Stephanie, we're going to close the show today, and this is what I want you to help me read.
Okay.
To help my guests. So that's it for this
edition of Time on the Couch with Dee Woolridge. Don't forget to send your questions or even suggestions for topics, and subscribe to my social media channels for daily inspiration. Her social media channels.
I know that you are capable of great things. Let's build success together.